You are listening to Hubbell Audio's production of E.M. Bounds, Man of Prayer, by Lyle W. Dorsett. This book is read by Jonathan Marosz. This book is 66 pages long and is divided into 7 chapters. This recording was produced in 2005 by Hubbell Audio, which owns the copyright. No portion of this recording may be reproduced for any reason without prior written consent from Hubbell Audio. Recorded and distributed by permission of Lyle W. Dorsett. Copyright 1991 by Lyle W. Dorsett. Please visit HubbellAudio.com to offer your impressions of this work and to explore additional titles. E.M. Bounds, Man of Prayer, by Lyle W. Dorsett. This book is dedicated to my mentor and friend, Dr. Robert E. Coleman, who introduced me to E.M. Bounds. Preface. Edward McKendry Bounds did not look like a man of power. Even in shoes, he stood only 5 feet 5 inches tall. Before age 40, his hairline had receded, and his beard and temples were marked with dense swatches of gray. A slender, almost diminutive man, Bounds's most striking features were piercing, hazel-colored eyes, accentuated by heavy, bushy brows. But God frequently chooses the weak things of the world to confound the strong. Indeed, this little man who was born in obscurity and died without fanfare, who had little formal schooling and held no lofty church offices, wielded a profound impact on North American Christians. During his lifetime, he set countless souls ablaze with his preaching, praying, and writing. Since his death in 1913, his books, especially those on prayer, have helped thousands, perhaps millions, find a deeper life in the Lord Jesus Christ. Nearly a decade ago, Dr. Robert E. Coleman introduced me to the writings of Edward McKendry Bounds. The little book, Preacher and Prayer, originally entitled Power Through Prayer, had a revolutionary impact on my spiritual life. This volume, as well as some other books Bounds wrote on prayer, drove me to my knees with renewed vigor, vision, and expectation. The stimulating effect of these works caused me to search for other things he had written. I also set out to discover more about the life of this author, whose books had so revitalized my faith in a living and powerful Christ. As I embarked upon a quest to read more Bounds and learn about his life, 3 things became apparent. First, few books on prayer have had a greater impact on the Christian faithful than Power Through Prayer, Preacher and Prayer. Originally published in 1907, this little classic has been in print in one form or another for nearly 90 years. Countless editions and printings have given it unusually wide distribution. Indeed, few books written in this century, except for some by C.S. Lewis, have reached and influenced so many people. Second, although Bounds's 8 little books on prayer are in print and readily available, few people, even devoted Bounds readers, have seen his 3 long out-of-print and extremely rare books, Satan, Heaven, and the Resurrection. Likewise, his edifying but long-forgotten articles have not been read by more than a handful of people since they were published in the late 19th century. Third, very little is known about E.M. Bounds, except for a 500-word sketch in Who Was Who in Church History, Moody, 1962, by E.S. Moyer, Dr. Melvin Dieter's brief portrait for Dictionary of Christianity in America, InterVarsity, 1990, Dr. Robert E. Coleman's 2-page introduction to the Christian Outreach edition of Preacher and Prayer, 1981, Willis Irvin Jr.'s 16-page typed but unpublished Prayer Warrior, a mini-biography of E.M. Bounds, and a half-page sketch in Warren Wiersbe's Walking with the Giants, 1976.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?